10 bikes I want from the Mecum auction. By the time you read this, the world-famous Mecum motorcycle auction will already be underway in Las Vegas, Nevada. Having started yesterday, January 25, Mecum bills the event as the largest vintage and antique motorcycle event not just in the country, but in the world. It's so big, with over 1,000 motorcycles and memorabilia up for grabs, that the auction is being televised on NBCSN. If you've got a large wad of cash just burning a hole in your wallet, there's still time to act, since the auction continues through the 28th. As for me, I don't have the funds to buy a collectible motorcycle. Instead, I'll list 10 bikes from the auction I'd love to have. Clearly this list could include far more than 10 bikes, and while I certainly appreciate the rarity of this 1912 Henderson 4, the racing heritage of this 1957 megavolts Augusta Grand Sport Moto Gyro, and the uniqueness of this 1977 Harley-Davidson MX 250 dirt bike, for one reason or another they aren't items I actually want. My 10 choices below, while rare or collectible in their own right, all cater to my quirky tastes. Some still bear the scars of battle, while others are pristine. Others still are so weird I just have to have one. What are they, you ask? Let's find out. 10. 1978 Yamaha TZ350. The Yamaha TZ series of Grand Prix race bikes are legendary machines, and the TZ350 was a force to be reckoned with during the 1970s. This particular TZ350 has led a rough life, still showing the scars and marks of having been entered in a variety of international competitions, including the Mecum Grand Prix at one point, as noted by the scrutineering sticker still affixed to the bike. It's dirty, it's dusty, and it has definitely seen better days. But it's also being sold with no reserve, meaning somebody will certainly be walking away with it at the end of the day. Hopefully whoever nabs it plans on bringing it back to safe riding condition, because the sound of two strokes buzzing around racetracks is becoming harder to find these days. 9. 1964 BMW R69S. There's no denying the cool factor old BMW airheads bring. This 1964 R69S is a great example as it caught my eye immediately as I was scrolling the Mecum pages. Apart from the 600cc Boxer twin engine, this bike still wears its original paint and comes with a few rare accessories, a VDO tachometer and a set of fairings, including a nose fairing that goes over the headlight, viewable in the Mecum list. There's even a set of bar and turn indicators from Hella, items which have inspired a handful of copycats today. While I've never ridden a vintage BMW of this age, looking at this R69S, I picture myself cruising along the Pacific Coast Highway, gingerly enjoying the ribbon of tarmac north from Los Angeles en route to Laguna Seca, VDO tach telling me how hard the engine is working and the fairings protecting my body from the elements ahead. 8. 1992 Harley-Davidson MT500 Cross Country Military. The ultimate Mad Max zombie apocalypse survival vehicle. According to Mecum, only 88 of these Harley-Davidson MT500s were made for the government to evaluate. In case you're wondering, no, it does not use a Harley engine, but is actually powered by a 500cc Rotax single. Designed to be airdropped, the bike features 4 loops to hook the parachute to. Once on the ground, the soldier had access to 4 ammo boxes. This particular bike only has 2,000 miles and a clean North Dakota title. It's a cool motorcycle I didn't know existed until now, and it has suddenly sparked a desire in me to skydive with it and ride my way back to civilization to save a princess and off some bad guys. Since the bike has no reserve, whoever bids highest will have the chance to do just that, in their mind, anyway. 7. 1938 Triumph Speed Twin. This one's pretty simple. This Triumph Speed Twin used to be Steve McQueen's. Who doesn't want one of Steve McQueen's old bikes? Sweetening the pot a little is the fact this particular bike was restored by none other than Bud Deckens in the mid-1970s. It was then sold at McQueen's estate auction in 1984 and has now resurfaced for sale again. The bike comes with all documentation, and of the 10 bikes on this list will probably be the one that sells for the highest price. 6. 1982 Honda CX500 Turbo. This example of Honda's CX500 Turbo is another candidate for the Pacific Coast Highway stroll, along with the BMW R69S at the number 9 spot. It's not in perfect cosmetic condition, but otherwise looks like a perfectly comfortable long-ish distance tourer. That seat looks well padded, the rider triangle looks very agreeable, and the fairing looks rather protective. Oh, and it has a turbo to liven up that Guzzi-like longitudinal V-twin. I imagine the riding experience is unlike anything else on this list, and because it isn't in tip-top shape, it will sell for less than a primo one would. 5. 1977 Laverda Jarama. Maybe I'm spoiled by the sound of 3 cylinders, but I can't help loving the unique wail of a triple. The Jarama was related to the higher-performing Laverda Jota, here tweaked to suit the US market with its left-hand shift and assortment of reflectors. Different mufflers were part of the deal, too, which this original example has. Those mufflers are said to tame the sound of this 1000cc beast quite a bit compared to the Jota, or at least that's what reviews of the time say. Exhausts are an easy thing to change, and left-hand shift means a knucklehead like me can ride it without screwing it up badly. Jaramas are a rare bike across the world mostly because most people preferred the Jota, and many Jaramas have been converted. 4. 1981 Ducati Panta. When it was first introduced in the early 1980s, the Ducati Panta only got a lukewarm reception on the sales floor, despite the fact examples like this 1981 version introduced trellis frames on Ducatis and its cell twin engine has belt-driven cams instead of the bevel gears of yore. All of that information is definitely relevant and important, but I really like this Ducati Panta because of its silver color. Were it mine, this would be fun for a casual canyon ride. Its low clip-on bars means I'd be placed in the right position for the twisties, and the fairing looks like it would do a decent job of keeping the wind at bay. In a world where Ducati and red are synonymous, this Panta is refreshing for not conforming to the mold. The seller lists this one as being in excellent running condition and is being sold with a clean title. 3. 1969 BSA A65W, Sidecar. There are quite a few motorcycles with sidecars being auctioned off in Las Vegas these next few days, but only one was designed for competition, and you're looking at it. This custom sidecar rig is powered by a 52-year-old 650cc twin from a BSA A65, so while it may not exactly light the world on fire with its speed, it'll surely provide a barrel of laughs going around a track with a monkey on the side. The rig appears to be put together well, with a powder-coated frame and a nice paint job. There's a bubble for both the pilot and the side hack, and the description from Mecum says the rig is fully operational and ready to race in whatever vintage series it's eligible for. Apparently this kind of thing is big in Australia, Britain, and New Zealand, according to the Mecum listing. Sign me up. 2. 2014 Lotus CO1. One of only 100 to be produced, and possibly the only one in North America, according to Mecum. The Lotus CO1 looks extremely uncomfortable and impractical to ride, but one I dearly want to have in my stable. Our own Dennis Chung wrote a nice piece about the CO1 detailing its features and providing a brief history. Contrary to popular belief, the CO1 has no relation to the famous Lotus car company. What it does have, however, is the heart from a KTM RC8, meaning it has a 1195cc V-twin, which has been massaged to pump out a claimed 200 horsepower. The frame is made from a combination of steel, carbon fiber and titanium. More importantly, it simply looks gorgeous and futuristic, not surprising considering Daniel Simon, the man who designed the Tron Legacy light cycle, also drew up the CO1. All of the bikes on this list are ones I'd like to ride, but this would probably be the one I park in front of a coffee shop when I'm in need of attention. 1. 1982 Suzuki RBG 500 Mk7. As far as motorcycles in this auction I really want in my collection, this is it. An honest-to-goodness factory Suzuki RGB 500 Grand Prix Racer. Powered by a 4-cylinder, 500cc 2-stroke, the two rear cylinders of the square 4 motor are raised slightly higher than the front 2 cylinders. Power output is estimated at 120 horsepower, but that was a lot for the time, especially considering the 2-stroke power hit and the relatively rudimentary chassis and suspension of the period. The RGB 500 enjoyed its fair share of racing success. This bike features magnesium crankcases and carburetors, a dry clutch, and has been stored at a Japanese museum since its last race. It's even still wearing the original Dunlop K133 slick tires. It's an original, unrestored classic that was formerly part of the Team Heron Suzuki stable, best known for having Barry Sheene at the controls, though it's not known if he piloted this actual motorcycle. Anyway, if you know anything about Grand Prix racing history, you know how special this Suzuki RGB 500 is and why it's at the top of this list.